Hello, people. It's been a while. If you see, there is a messy ass fucking table here full of random shit like fans and amplifiers and other random shit that my parents have laying around. And today, we're going to be testing all the fans that I currently have at this house. The reason why I said this house is because I have another place that I have all my other fans at, and that is in my uncle's basement at his dentist office. So, that's where those are being stored at currently. And yeah, and this fan is very brittle. If you can tell, the grill, it is fucked. And I needed a grill anyway. It fell over, and I didn't even know how brittle it was whenever I got it, and it's hella brittle. Even the back one is brittle too. But yeah, I'd say it's about as bad as the fucking front. I'm going to go throw these pieces of plastic away real quick, and I'll unpause the video here. I'm back. That was fast because my trash can's literally on the other side of my basement over by my PC area, which is over there, if you could see. But yeah, this is a Comfort Edge box fan. If you could fucking see here, Comfort Edge. It's based off a Lakewood or a Kmart box fan. I have the Lakewood version of this. And it has a McMillan motor. It's same motor as my White Westinghouse box fan, which is currently not on me right now. Looks like someone tried to fucking repair that or something. I don't know why. Why is that there? Look at this shit. Why is there a sleeve right there? Like, and then there's no sleeves in the middle of any other one. That's weird. Never seen that before. This fan has a startup sound. It may be a little hard to hear due to some other reasons. But without further ado, let's just start this thing up on high for a sec so you can hear the startup noise. I'll bring it up to the motor and then we'll start it from high in the front. Yeah, it's fucking pretty powerful even though it's currently dirty as shit. And is it really that? Yeah, the motor's filthy. So that's not the only thing I gotta clean here. Oh, fix that cord. Get this on a little better surface so it doesn't fall back when I turn it on. Blades are filthy, obviously. But yeah, here's high from the front. Here's medium. Here's low. It runs slow as shit. But that's pretty sure how it's probably supposed to be. Back to high and we'll do a spin down. Alright, let's see how long this thing takes to spin down. It's also wobbling, if you could see that. It really shouldn't be doing that, but whatever. I guess it feels like wobbling. Alrighty, next fan. Alright, people, here is a Lasko weather shield from probably 2017 to 2018, or I'm not sure what year it is, but it's around there. I got this thing for $5 at a flea market, and it's chopped as fuck. That's not fucking supposed to do that. That's coming off. It's fucking covered in shit and dust. It's got some rust at the bottom. It's got whatever the fuck. It's got a fucking pencil lodged inside of it. For some fucking reason, it's got a pencil in it. Alright. Okay, that's interesting, actually. There's the back of it. Obviously, it is covered in weird grease. Whatever the fuck that is. If I can zoom in on it. Whatever the fuck that shit is right there. That is hella fucking weird. But yeah, I think it has a small startup sound. Let's just start it up on high. Kinda. It's actually pretty powerful for a box fit. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, here's high. Let me stop the blade. Here's high. Here's medium. It's actually pretty powerful. Here's low. Back to high. And off. It's not really the best spot to put this, considering that I have it on top of my washer, but it'll do for now. But yeah, without further ado, let's go to the next fan. Alrighty, here is a 2017 Lasko weather shield. That other weather shield might have been 2019, because this one has the built-in thermostat, so I'm not really sure what year that is from. I bought this fan like this, and it's actually fairly clean, except for the bottom, where you got some rust issues right there. But that's not a biggie right now. Saying the fan does work. Thermostat works too, you can tell. Also, it does have a little tiny startup noise. Ow, fuck, that actually hurt like shit. I also have a GE upstairs that I'll probably show as the last clip in this video, because I do not feel like unplugging it from my room. It is a 2009, I think. 2009 or 2000s, early 2000s, late 2000s GE box fan with a thermostat. It looks exactly like this. It has the GE logo right there. So yeah, this is a 2017 Lasko weather shield. This is the back of the fan. It does have some dust gathering on top of it because it was sitting in my crawl space for a while. But I brought it out again, so it's definitely going to need a little bit of a cleaning. I also like the way how it's like crystally and like shiny. I like the way how it's like shiny on there. Also, my screw. That is not supposed to do that, so I will have to I'll have to screw that back in later. It has the same motor as the GE, and actually, it does not have the same motor as the GE. The GE has a older motor than that. It has the same motor as the other weather shield that I showed. Here's the startup sound from high in the back. It's blowing shit over there. Let me fix my tripod. Then, in the front, of course, make sure all that fucking thermostat shit's right. Weather shield on top of there. Let's start up on high. It's blowing the fucking camera. Medium. It's blowing the camera. Alright. Low. Still kind of blowing the camera. Back to high. And off. Alright, that's that. I also have a liquid cool operator and plenty of other vintage box fans down in my uncle's basement. But the only liquid cool operator item that's here is my liquid cool operator Junior. On top of my amplifier over there, cooling it off because it gets hot as shit. But yeah, anyways, let's go to our next fan. Alrighty, here is a 1960s or probably 1970s. I'm not sure what the fuck that brand is, but that's the name of the box fan. And it's basically, it looks just like an Eskimo, kinda, except it doesn't fucking have the metal lid. But it does have the exact same style motor as an Eskimo. This thing does have bad bearings, unfortunately. I've oiled it up multiple times, and the noise has went away, and now it keeps coming back. So, yeah, this is what the motor sounds like. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm actually going to move this out of my way so I don't fucking hit my foot on this. Alrighty. Anyways, let's turn this bitch around and get startup sound from the front. Actually, not startup sound. The speeds from the front. Alrighty. Here we go. Here's high. Here's low. Just trying to shake everything. and off. Fun fact about this fan is it actually has 2 speeds from here. It goes from low to off. Damn, bro. This fan, you can go from off to high and then low to off. So you can start this thing off from low speed, and you can also start it off on high speed with it being stopped. So I find that actually pretty cool. But let's go ahead and get a spin down of this thing. It is bouncing all over the place. Spin down's actually fairly long on this. Try and rotate that a little more towards the camera. Once this slows down, I'm actually going to unplug this so I can get ready for the next fan. Once this slows down, we'll get ready for the next fan. Actually stops, not slows down. Alright, next fan time. Here is my True Code reversible box fan. It's also got bad bearings, if you can tell. But yeah, let's go with high speed. I think this is 3 speeds. No, it's not 3 speeds. Here's high. Here's low. And back to high. And off. It's actually got a pretty decent spin down, not gonna lie. And I will show the motor on the back, of course. That's the motor that it has on it. Pretty much the same motor as it's in the Hunter. But yeah, that's this thing. I like the blade design on it too, but it needs fucking greased up. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to the next fan, shall we? Now, unfortunately, that's all the box fans that I have here, I believe, except I have 2 fucking smaller box fans, like a 14-inch one and a 12-inch one, in my basement. I'm gonna grab one of them, and I'm not grabbing the other because I don't feel like grabbing it because it's all buried under shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and fucking do this shit. Alrighty, this is my 2010, the 2009, it's either a late 2000s, I believe, Celestial Galaxy 18-inch pedestal fan. Got this thing the same day I got that fucking chopped ass, cold, whatever it is, cool edge, Comfort Edge box fan. I got this for, I think it was, yeah, got it for $8. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this thing up on high. Don't know why I clicked there, the oscillation was messing up. But that's whatever. Not really that, it's not really that powerful. Medium. Yeah, it's not even that powerful. Low. Back to high. I will also turn the oscillation off right here so you can get a better spin down without the oscillation, making the motor spin down faster. This thing has very good bearings, actually. I recently took this thing apart. I do not know what the fuck that was. I recently took this thing apart in the time-lapse video I made of the fan. So that is that. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and pull out the next fan we got. Now here's a pretty interesting find. This is a early 90s Bio Air. I'd say it's an early 90s. I think it's a 90s model. I believe there's a tag. It's actually not a tag on it. Early 90s. Bio Air. 18-inch pedestal fan. Weird thing about these is they have push buttons on the back of the motor for high, medium, and low, which you never really see. So I find that pretty rare. There's also no videos on the pedestal version. There's only one fucking photo, I think, on Google of the table stand or the table fan version. So I don't know if they try to J-rig this thing up or jerry-rig this thing up and put a pedestal on it, or if that's just how they actually made them. Because I don't know if they actually made pedestal versions, but it looks like they did. If you could tell, this one's depressed. It screws loose on it, and it's also bent. So that's that. Without further ado, let's actually start this thing up on high. It's actually hella strong. It's very good air. Let's go medium. And low. Back to high. Y'all can feel that air. And off. This thing actually has a fairly long spin down to it. Kind of impressive for a pedestal fan, to be honest with you. I'm gonna actually unplug this. My brother is also running his AC in his room for some damn reason, even though it's 28 degrees outside. Actually, it's like fucking 30 something. Cause this weather's weird. Spring weather's weird. Even though it's not really spring yet, but it's basically spring. Kinda. It's like a mix of winter right now and spring because the weather keeps going to like 70, then back down to 30, back down to 40. It's hella weird. So yeah. Anyways, here's the next fan I will be doing. Here's something that I got while I was thrifting down in, I fucking forgot. It's a flea market that's open on Saturdays. But it was down by there in that area. I actually fucking got this there. I found it there for $12. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it used to have a tag right there and it must have fell off, but it's from 1998. It's actually from 1198. 11-98. So, yeah. I'm not really sure what that is. Because I'm not that fucking smart. But whatever. This thing does have weird buttons. Without further ado, here's high. It won't stick. So I'm just going to have to hold it. It does have a startup sound. Pretty cool. And now it wants to stick. Here's medium. Here's low. Back to high. Off. The spin down is not really long on this thing, mainly because the bearings suck ass. I think I just accidentally unplugged my washer. Yeah, I did accidentally unplug my washer. Oops. I'm gonna plug that shit back in. Alright. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the next fan. Here's something quite useful that I got a while back, probably in like 2021. I got this for a lot of money. It was around like $150, I think. The Lasco fan heater in one. This thing's weird. It's got the heater on that side, and you press that button right there to get heat. It's got the fan on that side, and you press that button to get the fan. So yeah. It also has a weird countdown. fucking powerful because it has a blower. Oscillate. There's this. It's got 4 speeds. That's like medium high. That's like medium. That's like low. Yeah. Well, that's this thing for you. Anyways, let's go on to the next fan. Oh yeah. That fan right down there, it does not work. The buttons are broken on it. As you can fucking tell, there's no buttons in it. I had to take them out because the buttons are broken. So I had to order new ones, and now they should be on the way. Anyways, back to the washing machine setup with another fan. Alrighty, here is an SMC 18-inch table fan from February of 1998. I got this thing a while back, and I have no clue where the fuck I got it from. But yeah, it works. Also, there's a Spin 10 fan over here by Sharper Image that currently does not have a stand on it. It is missing one of the stands. Sorry about whatever. Anyways, that's what I do. Here's high. It's got a tiny startup sound. Medium. Fucking medium. Low. Back to high. And off. I'm going to put the Galaxy over here while it's slowing down. I will also unplug this thing. Can you slow down any faster, please? Alrighty. However, here's an old-ass super electric from probably 1980s. And then down below is this little turd. Probably from the 1980s as well. I'm not sure. This is a fucking fan that I found a while ago. It looks just like a super electric, to be honest. It might be super electric brand. Same. Might be the same brand. Alright. This thing actually takes batteries and it oscillates. So that's cool. Let's put this to the side curve. And let's go ahead and start this thing up on high. Medium. Low. Back to high. Off. Alrighty, next fan. Alright, here we have this old dirty thing of fan. I got this fan in probably 2017. It's 1980s Glasgow. I think it's an 8-inch. Might be a 10-inch FNES fan. 2-speed oscillating. And let's go with high. It also needs oil. Low. Back to high. Off. Alrighty. Wow, would you look at that? It cloned itself, but this time it's a different label. This is a fucking cleaner version of the Galaxy with a broken oscillation on-off tab. Without further ado, here's high. Low. Back to high. Off. That's that. Alrighty. Here is a 1950s Westinghouse. I'm not sure the model of it, but it is nice and a nice stirred up sound to it. I'm not sure how the fuck to lock this. It's never had that sound before. That's actually fucking weird. That's actually stupid. Never had that sound before. So it's time for a cleaning on this thing as well. Alright, next fan. Alright, here's a 2007 Lesher Ways 12-inch fan. Unfortunately, the oscillation makes a weird clicking noise, and it still oscillates, so I don't know if the gears are, like, almost going to fucking break. So, therefore, I'm not going to be using the oscillation on this fan, but it does work. But here's high. Medium. Low. There's a weird noise. High. Off. And the grill is a pain in the ass to put back on. Well, not really, but I just don't really fucking feel like putting it back on right now. But yeah, next fan. Alrighty. Here is this weird fan. Code Stream is what the name is of it. It's probably from early 60s, maybe 50s. It's just a plug-in fan. Plug in, it goes on. So, let's go. So it's got some pretty bad bearings. But it does have a decent spin down to it. It's also making some more noises. Here's something pretty unique that I found. This is a Vornado, probably 2020 Vornado oscillating fan. It actually oscillates wherever the fuck the switch is. And also high, medium, and low. Struggling quite a bit. Medium. Low. High. And off. Actually, off. Actually, let's redo that because it didn't seem good. Or I keep fucking turning it the wrong way. Off. Very fast spin down. Next fan. Alrighty, here's something weird. This was a 1980s Lakewood clip-on fan. 2-speed, so here's high. Low. Back to high. And off. It's got a nice spin down to it, actually. Next fan. All right, here's my Lakewood Cool Operator. Jesus Christ. Here's my Lakewood Cool Operator Junior. This is cooling my amplifiers, so I'm gonna put that back on later. I'm gonna fucking use a different fan to cool it, because this fan actually is nice, and I do not want to fucking use it to cool down that thing right now. So yeah, here's high. This thing's very powerful. Medium. Low. Quiet on low and still pushes out a lot of air. High. Off. It's also got a pretty decent spin down, I'm not gonna lie. Here is the back of the thing. Here's something quite interesting. This is a Marvin box fan from probably 90s to 80s. It actually is fucking weird because there's a switch right here for high and low. And on the back, if you had it out a window and you didn't want to take it out to turn off the switch or turn on the switch or change the speed or whatever, you can just do it from right here. So that's cool. You can do it on both sides. But yeah, anyways, here's high. Low. Back to high. Off. This thing has a pretty decent spin down to it. And here's the back of it. It's got a square motor, so yeah. Here's a 1999 Holmes box fan. It's pretty cool. So here's high. Low. Back to high. Off. It's also got a pretty decent spin down to it as well. Once this fucking slows down, I'll show you the back. That's the back of it, and that is the date. 01/99. Here's something weird. This is a white Westinghouse window fan. Its intake has an intake and exhaust, and it's also 3-speed. And that's the motor on the back of it. It's got some weird shit inside of it. And unfortunately, the switch is hard to twist, kinda. So, I'm gonna have this thing on high. Here you go. Oh, it's going out that way. It's high, medium, low, back to high, off. That's that. I don't know what year this is. I'm assuming probably 90s or 2000s. Here is probably a 2014 Macy's box fan. I don't know what they did with these Macy's box fans because there's a switch that goes from fucking high, medium, and low. And low, medium, high over here for some reason. I don't know what the point of that even was. But whatever. Anyways, here's high. What? That's not high at all. Here's high. It's got a startup sound on it. Medium. Low. High again. Here's the back of the motor. Here's off. Nothing really special. Yeah. Here's a 2001 Ari's box fan. Probably from, oh yeah, never mind, it's 2001. I was about to fucking say probably from whatever the fuck. 2001 Ari box fan. Really nothing that special about it. Square motor, broken grills, whatever the fuck that is. Wire. And here's high. It's got some messed up bearings. Medium. Low. High again. And off. It's got a decent spin down for a tiny little box fan. Yeah, that's that. I also have more small box fans like this somewhere in my uncle's basement, so yeah. Here's our next fan, another Lesher Ways. This thing probably will need a boost. It doesn't. And it doesn't blow any air. Low. That's high. Medium. Low. Back to high. And off. Anyways, next. Here is a 1998 Dirtcraft box fan. And of course it's got the square motor like always. And here is high. Blows way more air than the last one. Oh shit. There's low. Back to high. And off. Of course, Dirtcraft with their fancy push button mechanism things. But yeah, next fan. Here we got a Marvin window fan from probably the 70s. It's got typical rust issues, like always. It actually blows air out the back instead of the front. And has a weird option and a nice startup sound where you can start up one fan. If you go all the way down. And then once this fucking fan slows down, we just start up both of them at once. 3, 2, 1. And off. I think these are shaded pull motors. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they are. Anyways, next fan. Here's a 2002 Holmes this fan that has oscillation as well on the back. And then you got the tag 0202. And without further ado, here's high. Low. Back to high. And off. It's got a fast ass spin down to it. Anyways, next fan. I'm pretty sure that's it for these fans down here. I can't test that one. I do not feel like bringing that damn thing out. And then there's a blower fan over here, which I'll actually test. But first, I'm going to fold my tripod up because I'm done with it for now. Alright. I'm going to put my tripod over here on my side of the room. We are also joined on a call with Yoshi Fan 115 and Blues vs. the BXR, which I muted. What the fuck is going on here? Big Bitch 445, which is my alt. Washington County DeBix, and the DeBix Radio Collector. And Youngstown. EAS in there. We could start up this, so we might as well go ahead. This is a Bell & Howell socket fan, but it's a newer version of the Bell & Howell with a LED light, which I actually like. So here's high. Medium. Low. High. Off. Then we have the blower. Holy fuck, there's a bunch of plastic shards all over the fucking place over here. I don't even know what the fuck this goes to. Why is there so many plastic shards on my carpet? What the fuck happened? Oh, it's my bin. My Tupperware fell on me yesterday while I was trying to sell this subwoofer, so there's a bunch of plastic shards. I'm also a fire alarm collector, if you can't tell. Oh my god. These people are fucking idiots. My friends don't even clean up for shit. I smell popcorn, so shows me there's probably popcorn on the floor over here. Which there surprisingly isn't. That's a shocker. My fire alarm, 2nd gen classic from Gen Tech Commander 3, Simplex 4903, and the Edwards low frequency sounder. Actually, there's popcorn. Popcorn seed. Jesus fucking Christ. Here's my blower. This is a Lasco, who knows, whatever the fuck it's called. This thing is strong, and it's got a nice startup sound to it, actually. It's got a pretty decent startup. So, let's plug it in. And without further ado, here's high speed. Let's get it next to the motor. Medium. Low. High. And off. Alrighty, let's go to my ceiling fan I have hanging in the basement. I actually have 2 ceiling fans. I have this newer one right here, which you can't really see because the light's on. This newer one right here, and I have a Casablanca Comfort Touch that I'm not going to start up right now because I don't fucking feel like bringing down that cord and plugging it in. I also have to swap batteries out in the remote. But it does work. The controller is right there. I actually like that thing. They go for a lot of money. Without fucking further ado, let's get a high-speed startup. Medium. Low. Back to high. And off. Now, I'm not going to wait here because ceiling fans obviously have a long spin down. So, if you can tell, let's go upstairs and see what else we can find. That thing back there has a weak motor. That's my brother's. Alright, here's the GE I was talking about. Here it is on high. medium, low. Off. And they got my weather radios and shit, so. There's also an air purifier in there that I do not feel like fucking with because it powers my radios. Nothing's out here in the garage. Only if it was a nicer day outside. Jesus fucking Christ. There is a attic fan in that corner right there. Right there. Right, where my finger at? Right there. Yeah. That's that. There's this king of fans that's out here. I do not feel like starting these things up. And then my bikes and shit. And 5V. But yeah, that's all for this video as of now. I'm probably gonna be on thrifting later, so I'll stop by St. Vincent de Paul. The last time I was there, I found that box fan, and I also found the that Galaxy. So we'll see if I can find anything else. I also saw a Holmes, like an older Holmes pedestal fan I wanted to get, but I was only allowed to get 2 because I kind of was forced to stop collecting fans a while ago, and I'm not really supposed to be buying them again, but I want to anyway. So yeah, anyways, bye.